Everybody, this is Rob Shack, and so for this video I'm going to be giving my review of Gran Turismo 3 A-SPEC for the PS2. This is currently a 17-year-old game, so take everything I say with your own grain of salt, but I hope y'all enjoy, and I'll see y'all soon. Alright, so I have a bunch of stuff edited out now. I was trying to rehearse this script for y'all to make it sound professional, but that's not as fun, and I'd rather make it sound like I am intentional with y'all. So here is my list of random things. They vary in terms of significance. So let's go. My first one that I said was that Gran Turismo 3 is the last of the games that just had specialized in races. So as you can see by my fun little whatever it's called, like the wind race here, but yeah, I think that Gran Turismo 3 was just about racing. It wasn't about doing missions. I mean, Gran Turismo 4 had those little side mission things, and those were fun, but I mean, the reason why I play games like this is just to race. So what I liked about Gran Turismo 3 was it was the games that just focused on racing. No side plots and no side racing that doesn't seem like it really isn't really relevant to the ultimate goal of just having a bunch of nice cars and test driving cars that you would never probably drive in real life, but hey, maybe we will one day. That's my first point. My second point is less licenses than Gran Turismo 2, and I think maybe even 4, but let me know. I haven't played 4 in a long time. Gran Turismo 3 only has 5 licenses: BA, International BA, and Super, and then Rally. But Rally is super easy. I just did it the other day. I like that they don't have that many licenses. I played Gran Turismo 2. I remember 2 had, I think, International C as well, and a few of the other games have a lot of licenses as well. So I like that about Gran Turismo 3 as well. So one of my main points that I actually think about with this game is there's so many different ways to play it. There's so many different avenues that you can take when you're progressing through the game. So if you look at my channel, you can see my just interpretation of how I would play this game. But you can really do anything you want. So I've played through this game sort of like a little bit when I was a lot younger, and the way that the game, when I played it as a kid, I basically just went through it straight chronologically. Every race that was in a row, I just did that exact race as it appeared to me, and that made the game really hard, but it was still doable. I was just impatient because I was like 12, so that's part of it. But like when I did this game, so I looked up online that you can do certain prizes, certain races that are easier in the advanced leagues give you better prize cards, but they're still just as easy as the beginner races. So there's so many different avenues to do this game, and there's so many different ways to get prize cards. I'll mention that more in a second. But yeah, like I know that if you win all the gold license tests, you get a Mazda Miata. And then you can use that Mazda Miata immediately in an endurance race. That gets you like 200,000 credits every time you do it, and it's just a Mazda Miata race. It's really easy, but you can get a whole bunch of money that way and then play the entire game you want. So that was like one of my main points with why I love Gran Turismo 3 so much, is because you really have a lot of freedom as the player, and you get so many prize cards for so many different things that you can pretty much play it the way you want. Whatever cards you get access to at the beginning, you just can use. You don't have to, you can pretty much go through this game without having to buy a bunch of cars. Just the TVR, Speed 6, and then any sort of Mercedes. I don't think any of the games have anything like that later in the series. Like, you have to buy a bunch of cars to even get close to finishing the game. For my next point, oh yeah, so it's just isn't to me. when you go to the menus, like you can see at the beginning of this video, the menus are super easy. It's very straightforward. What you have to do, you just get a car, dealership, you can test it, you can tune it, and then test it in the machine thing, and then get the oil changed. It's a very simple menu. It's very aesthetically appealing to compared to 2 and 4. Like, why does 4 have 2 different used car lots? Like, I don't understand that, but that's fine, I guess. It's really fine. And then with 2, they had the cities organized by like west and east and stuff like that. So I just think that 3 has that aesthetic to it, and then also just, I mean, as I'm watching the camera angles of this mode, like, this game was made in 2001. It looks pretty good, like really good. The only thing that's lacking really is just the stuff outside of the course, but the cars themselves look great, and the way that they do the camera angle in the replay, I mean, it feels like someone's actually filming the car. Like, you can see the camera like kind of jerk like it's on a stand or someone's watching the game. So that's just really awesome to me with playing this game, is it just looks like it's somebody's really watching you, even though the outside of the map doesn't look like it. It does look like there's somebody filming at every corner, which is just awesome. So now my next point kind of goes back to multiple ways to play. There's a lot of replayability in this game to me because you're able to there's so many different ways to even win a single prize car. So the GT1 road car is an exception because that's a rare car, but like if you drive the GT1 race car, there's like 3 different ways to get the GT1 race car. There's so many different ways to get the 787B. There's so many different ways to get all-wheel drive cars, turbo cars, naturally aspirated cars. You can do so many different things to win cars in this game. Like, I chose to get all gold on the A license because I got the RX-8. The RX-8 is a very fast car and it's used for a couple of races, but I didn't even have to do that. I just did that because I wanted to get it early. But you also win the RX-8 in a couple of races in the amateur league. I can't remember right now, but stuff like that is what makes this game so awesome. Oh, here's the Viper didn't pit. Okay, that's weird. But yeah, so you can do a lot of different things in this game, and it can lead to a lot of playthroughs that you can do differently every time. And the fact that you redo each race and you can win a different prize car each time is really impressive. So you can do a race that was exciting, and there's even more reason to do that race over again because you can win a different car. Now granted, if you didn't have the glitch where you could just reload it in case you win the same prize car and then just quit on the last race, I think this would be a lot harder to be a valid point, but that might not have been their intention. But you can use that glitch to actually win every prize car in 4 tries, and that's just awesome. I feel like you can't do that in later games, or they just remove the random aspect as a whole. So I think that's what makes this game super. That's another aspect that makes this game super good. One downside to that is that you can't do this exact thing with the endurance races. So that's a big bummer because those races take forever. So basically when I play through this game, I'm gonna just do every endurance race once. But the good thing about the way that the game works up into the endurance place is that if I look up online what prize cars are for the endurance races, I guarantee you I'll have over 70% of them already just from doing the rest of the game, which goes back to how great it is that this game allows you to win the same car with multiple races. Okay, well that's that point. So this next point is a little bit more complicated to explain, but you can disagree with me if you want. But I like this game because of the AI. I know that people get really mad at AI and say that they're unrealistic and they don't notice you on the road and they don't treat you any differently if you're there or if you're not. And in a way that's true, but that's also what makes this game really good because the AI is predictable and they make mistakes. I mean, my favorite races in this game, I feel like based on y'all's feedback, the ones that y'all like the most are the ones where the AI does things to mess up. And so what I like about this game is that the AI do mess up. I mean, I mess up as a AI, as a human player all the time. And so it's really awesome that they have AI that actually make mistakes. They actually out on corners and they actually hit walls, because my biggest problem with games like Gran Turismo 4 and on is that the AI are just perfect. They're absolutely perfect. They never make a single mistake the whole game. You have to drive perfectly or else they will beat you, because they will never make a mistake. Like, they might make a mistake if their tires are red, but even then that's a stretch. Like, the only times I ever get people to mess up on Gran Turismo 4 is if I put the course on Nürburgring and then put super soft tires on every AI and then just let them run out, their tires wear out midway through the lap. It's too long. Other than that, they never make mistakes. Occasionally a muscle car would. And then in 5 and 6 it's even worse. They're just so perfect that you never get the opportunity to actually see them make mistakes. Yeah. So y'all can totally disagree with that, because I know that people want good AI. They don't want AI that slam into walls and sit there, which this game does have, and that's just hilarious to me. But that's not a reason to make the game, that's not a reason to bash the AI too much in this game. I mean, sometimes when they don't notice you, it even is better, because then they just shove you out of the way, which is, I mean, I guess that's kind of how Gran Turismo Sport is now. All I see online are videos of people getting mad at people for pushing them. So, I mean, it is that. So, AI to me is really good in Gran Turismo 3. This is a small point, but I really liked that a lot of the prize cars that you win in this game, like for example the GT1 road car, you can't actually view that car anyway, like in the dealership. A lot of the prize cars in this game, mainly the race cars, but a lot of the race cars are not viewable from any menu, which I think is really cool, because it makes the car feel very unique and like a very special car to win. Like, if cars that you can't buy feel very special when you win them, and you want to use that car sparingly but also show it off when you want to kick some butt. So I really like that the cars in this game are not on the menus as much, and if they are, sometimes they're not for sale. But I just think that's a really nice touch with this game. So this leads me to the next one, which is kind of unrelated, but yeah, you'll see. So a thing that I really like about this game is there's different ways to get prize cars, even when it comes to doing stuff in the arcade. Like, I feel like there's actually a purpose to the arcade in this game, because it's a way to get you like to the game, but also if you get really good in the arcade, you actually could unlock, I'm pretty sure, the Panos and then some Formula 1 car for doing the time trials and getting everything done in the arcade mode. And I think that's just really awesome, because you actually have purpose in playing the arcade mode. There's like a reason to. You don't just totally bypass it if you've played a Gran Turismo game before. So I think that's a really nice touch. And that goes along with the idea of prize cars being unique and being multiple ways to get them, because you can play through the arcade mode in this game just to get even more cars that you will show up in the simulation mode. And you can also do that to make this game really easy at the beginning too, because you don't even have to get a license to do those things in the arcade mode. Then you can win a Panos and drive that on your Sunday Cup, and that's just really funny to imagine, but I've seen some videos online with that. And then this is one that's, again, more my opinion, but I'm not the biggest fan of rally racing, and I respect it, but I wouldn't want there to be a whole bunch of it. And so I remember in Gran Turismo 4 there's a whole special event that's all rally and crazy, like driving on the city courses and stuff like that, and those are fun. But in this game there's just like 10 races, I'm sure about around 10 that are rally races, and I think that's just the right amount. I'm not super passionate about WRX, and I don't really love rally too much, but I do get to see why people would want more of that. But I think it's just the right amount. But that's just my opinion, so y'all can totally disagree with that and want more rally stuff. So these are all the positives to me. These are all the things that I really like about this game, but it can't be a fair review without putting in some negatives. My biggest negative really is the car selection is just very lacking in the game. There's only like 160, I think, or maybe like 200 or something. I think there's like 160 in the prize menu, or in the dealership. There's like 200 in the game. And so I think that is a big deal. I mean, to a lot of people, but I can understand why they would do it, because they went from Gran Turismo 2, which was on the PlayStation 1, to this, and I think that they did the best they could, and they focused on adding a pretty good amount of new cars, but also still keeping some old ones. I would have loved to have seen the R390 from '97, but they didn't do it. It's fine. But yeah, I just think this game is great. I think that, yeah, the AI could use some work. There's some moments where they get stuck on walls, and that doesn't really make any sense. But I think the game's replayability and the ability to pretty much play through it in so many different ways every time, and the whole, I mean, this is the same for all of them, but the customization in all these Gran Turismo games is so good. You can do so many things. How to make your car do wheelies in this game and do crazy stuff like that. I mean, that's just hilarious. So yeah, I think that 3 is my favorite one. If you want me to review other ones, I can. I really like 4, and I absolutely hate 5. I think 5 is the worst Gran Turismo game, so if y'all want me to review that, I can. I have a lot to say about that too, but this game is my favorite. I want to be positive. So thank you guys so much for your support. Just go ahead and enjoy the rest of this race on Like the Wind. And y'all are great. Subscribe for more.